Wow, good morning. It is Friday, TGIF, and I want to tell you that miracles come to you every single day. I want each and every one of you listening to me from around the world and in the United States. Well, if you're in the United States and if you are in Florida, you'll be able to go out and buy you a copy of the Sun Sentinel on Sunday. There's a surprise waiting for you in there. And if you're around the world, you can, of course, it's online. Yeah, Sun Sentinel's website in Florida. It's online. It will get to you on Sunday. Just go and look in the paper and peruse and see what you see. And then let me know what you see. Okay? All right. So, miracles are in my life every single day, and I just thank God for it every single moment. Thanks to Nicole. Oh my goodness, it is just an awesome journey because God is so real. He just makes things happen when you don't even have to panic. You just live like me. Oh, it's supernatural. He'll take care of it. Yeah. And he certainly does take care of it. So I just want to say welcome to the program TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, and what a way to start off the morning with miraculous things happening in your life. Did you love yourself today? Did you tell yourself, I love me today? Because it is crucial, it is important. You got to feel it in your spirit, in your heart and your soul and your mind. Because once you do that, everything comes. You must live in the supernatural. You must strive to be doing everything you do in your life in excellence. Excellence is the name, the word excellence. And you must exercise your faith and mix it with the word of God. So let us do that. Let us expect miracles every day. Let us do good. Let us be good. Let us get rid of the hate and the envy and the jealousy, and my golly, woo! Life can be so wonderful, as the song says. What a wonderful world. It's going to be as good as you make it. Don't wait for someone else to make you happy. Make yourself happy. Do something for yourself. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to cost you anything either. Because it just means you need to go to the mirror and say, I love me. Thank you, God, for how you made me. Thank you, parents. All right? So I just wanted to encourage you before I even begin to talk about crazy Republicans who are doubling down despite the president telling them yesterday, which I just thought it was the greatest part of his speech. Well, my brothers and sisters, if you don't like a policy, go out and win some elections. You know, like the presidential election. You think you can win it in 2016? And oh my golly, I just think the Secretary of Health, Sebelius, this is not on the president's head. It's on her head. She is the head of the Department of Health. What a rollout. Now we're going to be focused on the rollout. I don't even want to focus on the rollout because everything of that magnitude that rolls out is going to have some glitches, but I don't expect those glitches from the Obama administration. That is the administration that used the internet to win 2 elections. And I don't expect you to be hiring a company from Canada who can't deliver and they're using 10-year-old technology. Why didn't you just go get some teenagers or some 20-year-olds who know this thing and pay them much less than you paid? I bet you it would have been better. Because when you look at the dollars, my God, they just went up and up and up since President Bush. use that company in Canada. So, President Obama, you need to get your people in line and let them stop embarrassing you, because this is embarrassing. Yeah, you have it working good in California, Kentucky, but that's because you have democratic houses of government in those places. The governor of Kentucky is Democrat. Sensible people are in California. So we want you to, despite the fact that you have people in Florida blocking the thing and all over, all these Republicans fighting against it, Ted Cruz telling the people lies about it, you have to at least roll it out properly. We know there will be glitches because computer is just that thing. But come on now. How many weeks are we into this? It's a good thing the shutdown was there, because otherwise the Republicans would have so much to gloat about. See, we told you it's not working. See, people can't go on. But they're the ones blocking it where it's not working. Are you realizing that, Americans? The reason the program is being screwed up, I should say, in some states, is because Republican legislators are screwing it up because they don't want to make it work. Because Republicans basically just don't want poor people to have insurance. And it's not just poor people who don't have insurance. Let's correct that. Because I have a feeling they think it's just poor people that don't have insurance. There are middle-class families that don't have insurance. And there are people with pre-existing conditions who can't get insurance. There are people who are kicked off of insurance because they have used up too much of the money that is there. There are children who are being allowed to stay on their parents' insurance until they're 26. So let's talk about the good things and try to fix the bad things instead of trying to kill the whole hog. Yeah? Why do we always do that? We criticize the entire thing instead of picking out the good things and work on the things that are bad to make them better. Because guess what, Republicans? Just in case you didn't notice, President Barack Obama, as long as he's living, will be the President of the United States of America until 2016. So until you can win the presidency, and even then I don't think you will be able to repeal Obamacare or do anything to Obamacare, because by 2016, my God, if it's not working well, then something is wrong with it. So why don't we give it a chance? And instead of criticizing Republicans like a whole lot of people I know in the world who criticize, who do nothing, and come to meetings and criticize other people who have worked their asses off, and the only reason they got the power to do so is because of what was said behind your back, why it empowered that person to speak to you in that manner. Just happened to me 2 weeks ago, or a week ago. So that's what it is. So I'm asking the Republicans to do this. Instead of criticizing Obamacare and going down the road of trying to repeal Obamacare, and you can't do it within the next couple of years, just go to your desk, sit down, do some work, what the people sent you to Washington to do, immigration, fixing the infrastructure, jobs bill, you know, those kinds of things, farm bill. Those are things that people sent you all to Washington to do. They did not send you there, 20 people. The majority of Americans are not in the Tea Party movement. So why is it that the Tea Party movement has so much power and so much clout in the Republican Party? I am just not getting it. Can someone give it to me? Because I can't get it. 20 or 40 or 30 people, nobody even have an exact number. So now they come out and they're going to try to kill all the Republicans that voted yes if they're running for re-election. And it's not going to turn out that way, because the Tea Party candidates are crazy, crazy people. They're not normal human beings. They hate everything. They hate everybody. They hate government, but yet they want to be employed by the government. And I'm sure they're collecting Social Security if they're entitled to it, Medicare if they reach the age for it, and they will take Obamacare if they need it. How much you betting me? They'll be the first to line up if they see Obamacare is working and they can save some money in their pockets. I guarantee you. Some of them out there with the placards, they're probably getting food stamps and talking about the poor people who are getting food stamps. That's the hypocrisy of people. And the whole thing got me so down yesterday. Seriously. I was not depressed, but I just felt like, oh my God, how much more can the Obama family take from these people with the disrespect and the bad words being said about the president? And it's just so shameful. Aren't you all embarrassed to the world? People are looking at you guys and going, wow, the racism of the 60s is raising again. In the 50s, it's coming back. Isn't America ashamed of that? Americans? And the Tea Partiers, are they speaking for a majority of white Americans or are they not? I'd love for some white people to speak up, and the business community who funneled all of these people to put them in Washington, oh, how they're all so sorry right now. So let's see what they do in 2016 and 2014, which comes first. 2014 comes first. Let's see where the business community is going to put their money. And I would like to ask all those Republicans in the Senate and in Congress who are moderate people, who are normal human beings. Yes, they might be conservative, but not to the extreme of trying to do all kind of crazy things like shut the government down and breach the debt ceiling. What are you guys going to do right now? Is the Republican Party truly going to allow 20 or 30 crazy people to run the show, to be in charge? Well, they seem like they got Speaker Boehner on their side, but he looked so sorry getting on that plane yesterday to go home. And they do a little work and they take 1 week vacation. What if we did that in our normal lives? We work a weekend and we take a week off, and they're still getting paid. Aren't you all angry about stuff like that? Why is it that American people, except the Tea Party, are so passive? The only people I see out there making noise are the Tea Partiers. And unless most Americans think the way the Tea Party thinks and just don't want to come out and be brave about it, we need to do something about it. The Tea Party cannot be the voice of America. The Tea Party should not be the voice of the Republican Party. Even Grover Norquist is calling them stupid. And he's their guy. He's the guy who's in charge. And DeMint, he needs to go get a facelift or something. What's his problem? He left Congress to go and get this big job at Heritage, and he's outside calling the shots what's happening in the government inside. Oh my goodness, it is shameful what's going on in this country. And then you move on to the gerrymandering districts that we have gerrymandered, so the Republican that's acting crazy knows that his seat is safe because it's gerrymandered and only white conservative crazies live in that community that will vote for him or her, because there's some crazy hers in there too. So how does that work? And then America is going to go and try to sell democracy in the rest of the world? Absolutely not. Anybody who is taking advice from America, they're just as crazy. And nobody should be taking that IMF money either. Seriously. They should now start behaving like the Republicans. And then if a Republican wins the White House in 2016, I bet you that the Democrats are going to do what the Republicans did. But no, I don't think so, because Republicans have a history. Remember Newt Gingrich? I remember him. Yeah. He's now on CNN. I think CNN is crazy to have him on there. Yeah? Mr. Gingrich. He's the one who... And why is it that they just can't get rid of the debt ceiling? Why is it that they repeal the Gephardt rule? Why don't they bring that back? They repeal it, they brought it back, they repeal it. Oh my God. Are these the crazy people we have running the country? And they act as if they're smarter than you and I? And they're all a bunch of lawyers and whatever they are and doctors and whatever, but they are really very stupid people. To think that they can hold the global economy hostage because they don't like the black man in the White House. I heard someone running something what Rush Limbaugh says. He needs to go lose some weight. We need to introduce him to Rad Wellness. Seriously. And nothing against fat people, but him in particular need to shut up. He's talking about, oh, you know, we can't say anything about him because if we do, we are insulting the black president. And oh, hello, Mr. Limbaugh? Get a life. Seriously? President Obama has done nothing for you to be as disrespectful as you have been since 2008. Because you have been really and truly disrespectful. Now, when President Bush won, and it really was supposed to be Al Gore that won, what if the Democrats did what the Republicans just did? Is there no consequence for what Ted Cruz has done to this country? There's nothing that we can do about Ted Cruz? Yeah, I guess the people in Texas could recall him, but Texas seemed to have a crazy governor, a crazy senator now, so I don't know if that's a possibility. Because we're going to be stuck with Ted Cruz for what? 6 years? 4 years? Oh my goodness. And it's all about Ted Cruz raising, what does he raise now? Over $1 million? By trying to shut the government down, and the 144 Republicans in Congress that voted against the bill. So basically they voted for keeping the shutdown going and keeping the fact that we're going to go over the debt ceiling. Like Paul Ryan, who Mr. Hypocrite was just trying to solve a problem a week ago in his op-ed, and now he's working to do the budget, yet he voted against this whole thing because he doesn't have the balls. Paul Ryan, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, none of those four guys will be president. I'm here to tell you that because I'm prophetic. They will never be president of the United States, because I can see the commercials about Ted Cruz, who even though he lost, he still is acting like he won. Now, who does that? There should be a way to punish Ted Cruz and Mike Lee and all of those Republicans for wanting to do what they did to this country. So, as I said, I'm going to continue to read the names of the senators. The list of Congress people are too long. 144 of those stupid people, I have no time to read them. I'll just remind you about Paul Ryan, because he's a congressman. And he's the one that's up front now with his big blue eyes, you know? Mr. Workout Fanatic. Okay? So let us not forget what he did when he was talking about the deficit all the time. And when he was debating Vice President Biden, he's drinking water like it's going out of style. And Marco Rubio and his reach for the water thing. Those videos will just come back to haunt those guys. Seriously. So they'll never be president. I just simply wonder who the Republicans are going to put up. Does Ted Cruz actually in his little mind think he's going to be president of the United States? Absolutely not. Because I cannot see that the normal Republican Party is going to allow this guy from the Senate to come, and he's also running Congress from the Senate, because that's basically what he's doing. He's telling those guys in Congress, do what I say, follow me. While he's a senator over here, raising money for himself, getting on every television program that will have him. And while he's getting famous, the Republican Party is getting tanked. Tanked. You know, tanked? And so is the Tea Party getting tanked too. So why do we allow these people to hijack our country? Here are the names again. Senator Ted Cruz, the leader. Tim Scott of South Carolina. Well, you know that Cruz is from Texas. I don't have to tell you that. Senator Dean Heller, Nevada. Chuck Grassley. I am so ashamed of him, from Iowa. Senator Patrick Toomey from Pennsylvania. Senator Jerry Moran of Kansas. Senator Richard Shelby of Alabama. Senator James Reich of Idaho. You haven't even heard of these people until now, you know. I think some of them voted no to get their names in the press. Senator James Inhofe of Oklahoma. I think he's the only black man in that group. Yeah, he's black. Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama. Senator Marco Rubio of Florida. I know that if you all sent Charlie Crist to the Senate to represent Florida, that would have been a moderate Republican. But now he's a Democrat. And let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to run against Rick Scott in Florida for the governorship? We watch and see that. 2014 is just around the corner. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. And by the way, Obamacare is working very well in Kentucky. Rand Paul, do you know that? Or you don't know because you're not, those little people. You know. Like when you call the White House and the girl is telling me, oh, well, the president doesn't make policies based on regular people's suggestion. I'm going, lady, I voted. I volunteered. Hello? Are you really saying that to me? Oh, yeah. It happens. I don't hold the president responsible for that behavior, because she's the one that's stupid. Is she thinking about what she's saying to me? I'm a voter. I volunteered. I have 3 votes in my household. So these people, once they get to Washington, I think there's something in the water in Washington, D.C., or in the White House, or in the Capitol, or I don't know. All of a sudden, they have such great power over us little people. Mike Lee, yeah, the follower of Senator Ted Cruz. He's like this, you know, like a little kid. Senator Rob Portman from Ohio. Mr. Don't Like Gay People Until His Son is Gay. Senator David Vitter of Louisiana. Senator Mike Crapo of Idaho. He should take his name Crapo and put some crap in front of all these idiots that are trying to get our country to be totally disrespected. Can you imagine being disrespected by China? Who's not even, it's not even a free society, is criticizing America and want to de-Americanize the world? Wow. These guys, these wimps of men did that to us. Senator Mike Enzi of Wyoming. Senator Deb Fischer, Nebraska. Senator Pat Roberts of Kansas. And I think I'm probably going to just get the 144 congressman's name. I just give you Paul Ryan. But seriously, what can be done to punish these guys for what they've done to the economy? $24 billion with a B they costed the American economy. Can you imagine if you and I did something like this? We'd be in prison right now. If you and I work the weekend and we take the next week off, we won't have a job when we come back. So why is it that these politicians get away with all of this stuff? But I told you, President Obama, he listed his things. Immigration, the farm bill, yeah, he listed them out yesterday. Let's see what happens. Are they going to listen to him? Are we going to go through the same movie in January? Aren't we just exhausted and tired? I am totally exhausted, especially by the segment of racism and the over the cliff edge thing for the debt ceiling. Get the Gephardt rule back in play, de-repeal it or whatever you call it, or just get rid of it. So the Republicans can no longer hold the country hostage and the global economy hostage because of their stupidity. So, But meanwhile, the Republicans are driving us normal people crazy. So they're even driving this stenographer crazy. So the Republicans manage not only to drive us over the edge, but also the House stenographer lost it. Her name is Diane Reddy. She climbed up the dais and began yelling about the Constitution, Freemasons. You need to research the Freemasons. That's another interesting story. And Jesus Christ. She was described as having a crazed look on her face. Diane was escorted out of the House of Representatives chambers, shouting, "He will not be mocked." So they managed to drive one of their employees mad. That's how bad it is. Because remember now, we're on the outside looking in. She's on the inside being the stenographer. So they drove her raving mad. Remember someone called Washington the place, the madhouse where the lunatics are? Yeah. So there you go. The Republicans drove the woman mad. Just imagine. Close your eyes and imagine. I can just see it. I'm looking in the Capitol right now with her sitting at her thing, doing her thing. And she just got so tired and fed up of the whole thing. She lost her mind. So we just got to pray her back to life, to normalcy. Because the Republicans are not allowed to win and drive people nuts. Do you know how many families were on the edge and some of them were suffering from anxiety attacks all 16 days of this shutdown? Because they just didn't know how they were going to eat, pay their rent, pay their mortgage, take care of their children. How do these guys led by Ted Cruz get away with this? They just get away with this scotch-free and then they have a vacation for a week? Oh my God. So President Obama, as I told you yesterday, great speech. He was very serious. But I know when I looked in his eyes, the tears, he had to hold them back because he must be saying to himself, is this the America that I love? Is this the America that's abusing me the way they abuse me? Disrespecting me the way they've disrespected me from day one? In the history of this country, I don't think any other president has suffered the abuse and the disrespect that President Barack Obama has suffered and his family. Totally distasteful, totally embarrassing and shameful, and all Americans should be embarrassed and ashamed of what has happened to President Barack Obama while he's in office. We all should be embarrassed, seriously. So anyway, we'll see the budget, immigration, and the farm bill. Will we get any of that? What about a jobs bill? And what about the infrastructure and the bridges that are falling down? Wow. Okay, so what's in the bill, you might ask? Some other things that were attached to the bill. Well, $2.9 billion for Kentucky dams and locks on the lower Ohio River. Now, this is according to Section 123 of the bill, increases the amount of funding for 2 locks and dams on the river that flows through Illinois and Kentucky. 2 states which happen to be the home to Senate Minority Leader, his name is what? Mitch McConnell, co-author of the deal to end the shutdown. Congress originally appropriated just $775 million for the project in 1986. So it's moved from 1986, $775 million, and now it's what? $2.9 billion. And the $24 billion that was lost in the economy, the Republicans could have just given that to all the poor people that they stopped from going to Head Start and getting food stamps and getting what they didn't get. So, when Senator McConnell was asked about this, he said he's not the one that asked for the money. Okay, we believe you. Do we believe you? Alrighty, I'm going to take a break and come back in just a moment. And I'm reminding you that tomorrow is my big day. And you better be there. Alrighty? Just better be there. Looking forward to see you for the book signing tomorrow. Okay, there you go. Hello everyone, this is a season of giving. And I'm asking you to consider one of your gifts to be Deadly Negligence, written by yours truly, Diana Wright. A story that will give you hope, make you mad, shock you sometimes, but is bound to increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. So please, give Deadly Negligence as a gift, as the gifting season begins to heat up. I am depending on you to do this for me. Thank you so much, and be the proud person to give a gift of the book Deadly Negligence. It's available on Amazon.com and on my website dianawrighttv.webs.com. Thank you so much for my viewers around the world and in the United States. Be blessed. Alrighty, and we are back, and it's Friday, and we welcome you from around the world and in the United States. As usual, you see, it's Friday, so I'm wearing my I Love Me t-shirts that you must have before next April 30th, which is International I Love Me Day. International I Love Me Day, April 30th. Put it on your calendar. And you can't put my book signing on your calendar again. It's tomorrow. You need to just get the address, Midtown 24, the Alibi Room, 700 Southwest 78th Avenue in Plantation, Florida, 33324. Just need you to get that. And of course, it's being hosted by Rad Wellness, Dax Dunn, and Vanya. They're hosting the event, and I promise you, you'll have some demonstration of raw foods and nice things to just, and you'll hear a little bit about my testimony anyway. Okay, so next on the bill is $174,000 for Frank Lautenberg's widow. When a congressman dies, or a politician dies, I should say, senator or Republican Congress people, whomever, they get $174,000, which is 1 year's salary. Okay, that's basically what it is. So that's Section 146 of appropriates that sum, the equivalent of a year's salary, just as I said before, for a rank and file senator. Someone pointed out, and they're already rich. Well, whether they're rich or not, if they're entitled to it, they should get it. So don't be so mean-spirited, okay? Because I heard people going, well, they don't need the money. She doesn't need the money. Why does she need the money? They're already rich. Anyway, she's entitled, so she should get it. Also attached to the bill, $636 million for fire suppression. After a worse than expected fire season throughout the western United States, the Forest Service's wildfire fighting budget has dwindled perilously close to zero, and the service has had to transfer money from other accounts to pay for firefighting activities. So yes, that one is a good one, don't you think? Then there's $36 million for a wildland fire management. That's for the 2014 fiscal year. All right? And another $600 million that would go into a firefighting account to be available until it's spent. The Forest Services spent more than $900 million fighting fires this year, 2014, and the year is not even finished. And all those people who started these fires, I wonder what happens to them. Because eventually they find them, you know. They really do. Back pay for federally funded state workers. Of course, you know, lots of people were not working or working without pay. We found out that they will be getting paid. All right? So that's a good thing. $450 million for emergency highway repairs in Colorado. You know that there's been a flood in Colorado, so that has to be funded. That's $450 million. So, you know, those are some of the things that were attached to the bill. They're calling it pork. But, you know, some of the things I don't think it's pork, but I think the one that really got most people's eyes was the one for Kentucky, because Senator McConnell is from Kentucky. Mr. Want Obama to only have one term, and he was going to spend his whole life doing that. Okay, my brother. You notice how quiet he is when the president won the second term? He wasn't talking about that anymore because President Obama is no longer running for office. He can only have 2 terms, yeah? So, anyway, while the shutdown was going on, other things were going on around the country. Like Mitt Romney, of course, you know. And the winners in California are Mitt Romney and Ann Romney. Because the California Coastal Commission ruled October 11 in the middle of the shutdown that the former Republican presidential candidate and his wife Ann are free to build their dream house on the beach in La Jolla, California. The commission rejected an appeal by a former neighbor who tried to block the couple's plan to tear down the home they bought for $12 million. So my brother, you bought a house for $12 million and then you're going to tear it down? They bought the house in 2008. I don't know if you remember that whole saga about that house when President Obama was running and, you know, Mitt Romney was kind of running, sort of. He kind of paid for all the votes he got at that time. But anyway, and built, guess what he's going to build now? 11,000 square foot spread in its place. So you buy a house for $12 million. Am I equating him to Tiger Woods' ex-wife, Elin, who bought a house, a mansion in Palm Beach, and because she didn't work for the money that she got from Tiger, I think she paid like $32 million for the house, and then she tore it down and built something else. And then the guy who bought Trump's house in Palm Beach, he also tore Mar-a-Lago down. And oh my goodness, these people, can't they just like find some poor people to feed or something with their money? The CCC voted 7-4 that the Romneys can proceed with their plans, and more importantly, that they do indeed own a portion of the beach. So my golly, you know you cannot go to that part of the beach where Mr. Romney is going to build his mansion? You can't. Oh yeah, they're going to own a part of the beach. The size of the lot had been at issue in an appeal filed by Tony Ciani. In its findings, the panel concluded that the vast majority of the square footage will be contained in the basement and the first floor, and that the home will not have adverse impacts on public views to and along the beach, as the existing ocean views are down the street and not over the subject property. Romney has said that he wanted to own a home where he could hear the ocean. So the couple picked up the property in 2008, as I said before, and devised plans for a new home that could accommodate their 5 married sons and 23 grandchildren. Wow. Mr. Want to be president would never be president. I knew that. Because see, I was in the trenches and I knew that he was not going to win. Even the night when everybody's, some of the people were getting nervous, I'm like, weren't you out there with me working? I had to actually console one volunteer because I guess she was watching Fox News or something. I said, what are you doing? Watching Fox News? She said, yes. I said, and you're watching Fox News to get your information? President Obama is not going to lose the 2012 election. She was so distraught because she said she was watching Fox News and all the other news and everybody's saying, no. And I'm like, no. Aren't you and I out there in the street and see the vibrations of the people? The 47% of us that would never vote for Mitt Romney? There are not enough white guys who hate black people and brown people and immigrants and Chinese and Indians in this country to win any white guy the presidency. Let's just get that straight, right off the table. There's no white guy. And there's no Republican that can win unless they've gerrymandered and stolen the election, like we hear that the voters list is being purged in Virginia by none other than Mr. Cuccinelli, who is running for governor. And he's the guy that is in charge of purging the voters list? What kind of country is this? We're worse than a third world country because I've never seen this in any third world country. Never, ever, ever. So you go and you purge the list because you figure that will help you to win? And the lawsuit to block the purging, you purged it even then? What is happening in America? Are the days of America just gone and never to return? Or are we going to have some sensible people rise up and take charge? What's going to happen to us? Because this is actually quite pathetic. What's going on in the U.S. at the moment with the Republicans and everything else. Okay, so we're going to take a break, another break, and come back to you in just a slither of a moment. And once again, before I go to break, I thank you so much for joining me today, and I will expect to see you at my book signing tomorrow. Can you imagine? I've been talking about this since July, almost. It feels like a year, and wow. Tomorrow. Now you can say tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Hello everyone. I am just asking you from around the world and in the United States to partner with the Diana Wright Show, sponsor the Diana Wright Show, or advertise on the Diana Wright Show. To do so, please call 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Please sponsor, partner with us, and advertise with us to make the show a big hit, just like you do by liking us on Facebook and following me on Twitter. Thank you so much. Don't forget the number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Also, we invite you to invite me to be at your event as a speaker and to tell you about my new book, Deadly Negligence. And so we encourage you to partner with us right here on the Diana Wright Show. Advertise with us and sponsor the Diana Wright Show. 561-228-1921. Thank you so much. Alrighty, and we are back, and we're thanking you for liking us on Facebook also. Thank you for doing that, and send me some questions on Facebook. Come on, challenge me. Come on, come up with some stuff. I'm going to give you a list of of 5 worst states for women to live. And I'm still trying to wonder why Texas is not on the list, but it didn't make the list. Louisiana, Utah, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Mississippi. If you're planning to move, do not go to those states if you're a woman. Those states are horrible for women, and I would add to that list Texas. Okay? So for those of you who are moving to Texas because you know that I hear a lot of people moving to Texas because housing is cheap. Yeah, been to Texas, been to Houston, been to Dallas. And yeah, the houses are nice and they're inexpensive and rent is much cheaper than a lot of places. But what about the governance of the state? And I see that a lot of the crazies that are talking are from Georgia. You notice I say Georgia and not Atlanta because a lot of people like to talk about they live in Atlanta. Atlanta is the only progressive part of Georgia. Georgia has a whole lot of problems, and when the shutdown happened, I realized how many crazy Republicans are actually from Georgia. They were the ones talking about, some of them talking about, that debt ceiling thing, nothing's going to happen. Hello? Repeal Obamacare. Crazy folks from Georgia. So watch out. Those of you who are in Atlanta and thinking that life is wonderful, there's some crazies right around the corner, representing you, no doubt. Okay. It is Friday, so I want you to boost your mood a little bit. So I decided that I'm going to take a story here that's a little lighter. All right? I'm going to give you a light story. Flip through your old photos when you want to lift your mood. Yeah, because you look at those older pictures and you look at how you are now, and you either like what you saw then or you like what you see now. And your friends that you dumped, and all the reminiscing that goes on when you look at photos. So they're actually saying it actually lifts your mood. Inhale a calming scent. A lot of people are buying those little scent things in the bottles. It's actually good for you to take a sniffle of that when you're feeling a little down on your mood. Open your shades. Yes, let there be light, and there was light. And the light was good. When you're in your house, yeah, we know that when it's really hot, you want to keep the drapes pulled because you don't want your AC to be overworked. But when the sun goes down, please open those blinds and those curtains and look at the beautiful surroundings outside. Even if it's a concrete jungle, look out. And maybe you want to take a walk in your neighborhood or someplace else. That actually stimulates the mind. So it will lift your mood. Clear away the clutter in your house. That's one thing that will really make you feel good. For those of you who like to save every Jesus thing, every little thing, when you check the mail, you save the envelope and the letter. And you're not going to do anything with the letter because it's junk mail. Stand at the garbage bin and file it under G. Clear the clutter. So, and if you're feeling really that you want a good laugh, just go on YouTube and you'll see some funny videos to make you laugh. And of course, you could do a good deed for someone else who's less fortunate. That's a good thing to make you feel good. Rethink your retail therapy. Because a lot of women tell me, oh, Dad, I just went out and did some retail therapy. He made me mad and blah, blah, blah. But remember now, when the bill comes, you ain't going to feel very good about the purchase that you made. Unless you have the money to pay for it. So kind of hold back on the retail therapy. Give it a thought before you jump. And smile. I add this one, of course. Keep smiling and saying, I love me. Because that, my friends, will make you feel better instantly. So, Also, some little health advice for you, tips if you get a cold, because everybody seems to have a cold right now and I'm keeping my distance. Okay, you want to get some peppermint, because they say peppermint relieves headaches caused by congestion. You want to use eucalyptus. It helps with decongestion and soothes your respiratory problems. Oregano, didn't know about this one. Proven antibacterial, fights sinus infections. Did you know that? I did not know that about oregano. Know the spice is great, good for you to use it, but I didn't know it had such powers. And then, of course, the silver that I like to use from Rad Wellness, courtesy of Dax Dunn and Vanya. Check that out on their website at rad4u.com. And hello, they now have an app. And all you have to do to get the app is go to Aqualife, and it's a free download. So Rad Wellness now has an app. Always wanted to know someone who owns an app, and I do now. And if you come to my book signing, you'll meet the guy who has an app, and Lady Vanya. All right? So that's a good thing. Congratulations again. All right. A not so nice story about slavery. Some 30 million people. This is one of my wow stories for the week. Enslaved worldwide, trafficked into brothels, forced into manual labor, victims of debt bondage, or even born into servitude, a global index on modern slavery showed this week. Almost half are in India, where slavery ranges from bonded labor in quarries and kilns to commercial sex exploitation, although the scourge exists in all 162 countries surveyed by Walk Free, an Australian-based rights group company. Its estimate of $29.8 million and also million slaves worldwide is higher than other attempts to quantify modern slavery. Wow. When we thought slavery was over. The International Labour Organization estimates that almost 21 million people are victims of forced labor. Now, we hear about that all the time, about these factories that they have these people working and paying them 2 cents. Today, some people are still being born into hereditary slavery. Did you actually know that there's something called hereditary slavery? A staggering but harsh reality, particularly in parts of West Africa and South Asia. Other victims are captured or kidnapped before being sold or kept for exploitation, whether through marriage, unpaid labor, on fishing boats, or as domestic workers. Others are tricked and lured into situations they cannot escape, with false promises of a good job or an education. The Global Slavery Index for 2013 defines slavery as the possession or control of people to deny freedom and exploit them for profit of sex, unusual through violence, and that's normally through violence and coercion or deception. Wow. The definition includes indentured servitude, forced marriages, and the abduction of children to serve in wars. Yeah, we see that a lot in Africa. According to the index, 10 countries alone account for 3/4 of the world's slave. After India comes who? China, who want to de-Americanize the world, has the most with 2.9 million, followed by Pakistan with 2.1 million, Nigeria 701,000, Ethiopia 651,000, Russia 516,000, Thailand 473,000, wow, Democratic Republic of the Congo 462,000, Myanmar 384,000, and Bangladesh 343,000 people, I'm sorry. So This story wowed me so much, I am still just shocked reading it again. The index also ranks nations by prevalence of slavery per head of population. By this measure, Mauritania is the worst, with almost 4% of its 3.8 million people enslaved. We're in 2014, people. Estimates by other organizations put the level at up to 20%. Chattel slavery is common in Mauritania, meaning that slave status is passed down through generations. Owners buy, sell, rent out, or give away their slaves as gifts. After Mauritania, slavery is most prevalent by population in Haiti, where a system of child labor known as Restavek encourages poor families to send their children to wealthier acquaintances, where many end up exploited and abused. Pakistan, India, Nepal, Moldova, Benin, Ivory Coast, Gambia, and Gabon have the next highest prevalence rates. Wow. That's incredible. Seriously. Very, very incredible, I think. I have to take a break and come back in just a slither of another moment. Really, really have to take a break. Wow. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's so prevalent. Remember, April 30th, 2014 is International I Love Me Day. I want you to start thinking about what will you do special for you on that day. Share it with me on Facebook and Twitter. And join the conversation on the Diana Wright Show, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. We are live. The number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Join the conversation. Like us on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Alrighty. Wow, we're back after that story. That story just, Madonna has been, she has been banned from the movie house chain, Alamo Drafthouse. They own several theaters and she's banned. Why, you ask? Madonna refused to get off the phone when she was asked to. And then when they asked her to, this is what she says. It's for business, enslaver. Wow. You know, this is just interesting. So this company banned her from their movie theaters all over the country. So who does Madonna think she is? She can use her phone in the theater, and that particular group, they have a zero tolerance for texting and using your phone in their theaters. So if you're going to go to any of the theaters that are owned by the Drafthouse chain, make sure you turn your phone off. My golly, you're watching a movie, you have to do business, Madonna? You have enough money already. How much more do you need? Bad manners. Wow, 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 bad manners on a Friday. And, okay, this one, former Secretary of State, Senator Hillary Clinton, was hit with a fine for parking illegally during a visit to where, you ask? London, despite protests from her security team. Clinton was collecting an award for international diplomacy at Chatham House in the upscale district of Mayfair when a warden put an £80, that's about $127 parking ticket on the silver Mercedes she was using. And that, of course, is reported by the council. Westminster City Council said the former First Lady had been in the £3.5 an hour metered parking spot for 45 minutes without paying. Despite our traffic marshal being questioned by the Secret Service for just doing his job, he was in the right. And Councillor Daniel Aster, the council's cabinet member for business, he said the former U.S. Secretary of State was parked for nearly 45 minutes without paying. I'm sure she will understand that we have to be fair to everyone, regardless of their status on the world stage. So guess what? In London, they actually treat everyone equally. It's not just Denmark. He added, for future reference, Mrs. Clinton can now also download a parking app for iPhone, which will tell her in real time where a parking space is in the city of Westminster. Okay, Mrs. Clinton, you got to get your iPhone busy. He told the newspaper he saw one member of Clinton's entourage angrily waving his arms and flashing his badge in an attempt to get the ticket rescinded, but with no luck. The penalty is reduced to £40, which is just about $63, if paid within a certain time. So, Mrs. Clinton, sorry that you went all the way there and got your wings clipped with a ticket, but you can afford to pay. I think I'm going to leave you now because it's almost time to leave you. But before I go, I'm going to take another break and come back to you in just a moment before I close out the show. For this TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Hello, everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are. But there has to be a point in your life, and you will come to that point, where you have to take someone you love to the hospital. But have you ever considered that you could take that loved one, in my case, my only child, to the hospital in a normal state, and then you leave 5 months later, brain damaged, in a wheelchair, without your senses? This is my true story, Deadly Negligence, the book, available on Amazon and at my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com. I'm asking you today to get a copy. Support my story. Let us get this out there, because this story will captivate you. It will shock you. It will give you hope. It will increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. Thank you for picking up your copy today. And just in case you know Oprah Winfrey or Tyler Perry or Mr. Levinson, let them know this is worth a movie. Thank you. Get your copy today. Alrighty, we are back with you, and I want to say thank you so much for joining me today inside the Diana Wright Show live online, and just asking you to spread the word on Facebook that we're on, and we're here every day, Monday through Friday, to talk about the news and your views and all the things that concern you. And most of all, I want you to remember that you can get yourself in the habit of telling yourself, I love me. It's important. It only takes 21 days to form a habit. And if you do this every single day for 21 days straight, I guarantee you that after 21 days, it will come so easy for you. Teach your children to do the same. And even your enemies, teach them to love themselves. Because maybe if they love themselves, they wouldn't be such enemies. They wouldn't be so evil and hateful. So I ask you to do that for them. Because it's always good to be nice to your enemies, and watch your back. Hence, you give them a chance to turn the knife and give away your job to the next person in line before you even get to the entrance of the door or the exit. Yeah? So keep that in mind. And wherever you go to worship over the weekend, whether it's lying in your bed and watching television, going and being a part of a service on Saturday or on Sunday. We thank you so much for joining us today. Have yourself a wonderful day. Is this someone again calling me to tell me that I won something? I'm sure it is. I could recognize the area code. There's always somebody calling you to, offer you, surprise, you've won. No, I haven't won anything. So I'm asking you, if you can make it, if you're in Florida, please join me tomorrow for my first book signing at Midtown 24. That's the Alibi Room, and that's 700 Southwest 78th Avenue. It's in Plantation. We'll see you tomorrow. I guess this is persistent. Someone is not doing that. Take care and have yourself a wonderful day.